Hello everybody, welcome to episode 63 of the PMD Tea Buyers Club. I'm your host, Nalanja Silva. I'm talking to you again from my kitchen. It's Sunday. We've been 7 days into our lockdown here in London. I know other people around the world are going into lockdown. So if you're in lockdown, I feel your pain. Now, two teas on the PMD Tea Buyers Club today. One's a brand spanking new one. It's just gone up live on the website, so do check it out. It's a tea for anyone who loves our Earl Grey. So if you like Earl Grey tea, and there's a lot of drinkers on our website who like Earl Grey. I think it's our number 2 selling tea. You know, first is Planters Breakfast, next is Planters Earl Grey. So if you love Earl Grey, definitely check out this tea. This is Planters Mistress. Now, I'll tell you why it's called Planters Mistress. If you've been on our website or you drink our tea, you'll know that we have a Planters Breakfast, a Planters Afternoon, a Planters Earl Grey, and we have a Planters Green Tea. Now, the way that we came up with this range was that when we were coming up with the range of teas, we thought, instead of just calling it English breakfast, well, who makes tea? Who have we as a company worked with for over 70 years? And it's been tea planters. So a tea planter is the guardian of his tea estate. He's the one who manages the whole show. He manages his workforce of people. He looks after the bushes. He creates tea. He, is judge, jury, medical assistant, civil engineer, you name it. That's what a tea planter is. So, how does a tea planter begin his day? Very early in the morning. He has bed tea. This is tea that's brought to his bedroom by his apu, and, that's a strong tea. Something like our Planters Breakfast. He'll then go out, he'll do his field round, he'll go into the factory, he'll taste the day's manufacture, he'll come back, he'll have breakfast, and he'll be back out in the field. And if he comes back to his bungalow in the afternoon, he might want something lighter to have with a slice of cake, which would be our Planters Afternoon. If he's looking for something aromatic, he might want something like this, which is our Planters Earl Grey. And if after a meal, after lunch, or after dinner, he wants something just to settle his stomach, he has our Planters Green Tea. What is Planters Mistress, and how does Planters Mistress come into the show, and why is it our 5th Planters tea? Well, I was with some friends once. I was actually on Norwood Tea Estate. Was I at Norwood? No, I lie. I wasn't at Norwood. I was at, what is the name of the bungalow? It's down in Muskelia. It's down at the bottom. It's part of Glentilta Estate. I can't remember. I've totally forgotten the name of the bungalow. Anyway, I was down in this bungalow one day with 2 friends of mine, and they were reminiscing about an old tea planter, and how when they were junior tea planters, they weren't allowed to go to the top division. And it turned out that their boss had been keeping a mistress in the top division. And at the time, we were trying to come up with a name for a Lady Grey tea, which is actually trademarked by another tea company. So instead of calling it Lady Grey, which you can't use, we thought, why not call this tea Planters Mistress? So it's our scandalous take on an aristocratic classic, which is our Earl Grey, and it builds on the Earl Grey. Also, it's called Planters Mistress because there's a history of tea planters, not just in Sri Lanka, but all around the old British Empire. They used to keep what was known as a sleeping dictionary. And this is where a British tea planter had turned up in a country. He would, start to fell the jungle. He'd start to create his tea estate or coffee estate or rubber estate. And he would keep a woman from that estate or from that local village where he would learn the language. And of course, they were called sleeping dictionaries, because he would do more than learn the language, and I'll let you all fill that in your own imagination. So getting back onto what is Planters Mistress, well, Planters Mistress is a building on Earl Grey tea. First of all, what is Earl Grey? Earl Grey tea is black tea with bergamot oil. What is bergamot? Bergamot is a citrus type fruit that grows in countries like southern Italy and in Greece and around the Mediterranean region. It's a citrus type fruit that we use the oil from that to infuse into black tea. So Earl Grey is black tea with bergamot oil. What does it smell like? It smells very citrusy, almost like a massage parlor. So if you've ever been into a massage parlor, or you've ever been into a spa in a hotel, that type of smell is what you get from an Earl Grey. Now, with our Earl Grey, you don't get a very big hit of bergamot. We use natural bergamot oil, and we don't use a lot of it. So you still get to taste the tea, and it's a very subtle smell. What is Planters Mistress? Well, Planters Mistress is effectively Earl Grey tea, but it also combines orange and lemon peel to it. And this has a much bigger citrusy nose than what you'll get out of this one here. Here you've got just the smell of the bergamot, and you still smell the tea actually, in all fairness. You get a bit of an earthy note coming out from this cup, whereas here it's much more citrusy. Immediately you get the smell of orange, you get the smell of the lemon, and you can smell something much more zesty going on in here. If you were to look at the two cups, well, a little bit different. Here the Earl Grey, you can see, has a bit of a darker cup colour to it, whereas the Planters Mistress has a much lighter cup. What do they taste like? Well, I'll give the Earl Grey a go, and then I'll get on to the Mistress. Well, if we taste the Earl Grey, it's light. It just has a one-note citrusy taste of the bergamot. It's a one-note taste, very citrusy, a little bit of lemon in there as well, but a very pleasant, easy sipping tea. This is the type of tea that I would actually recommend at this time of COVID, because they say that one of the first signs of having the coronavirus is that you lose your sense of smell. And if you can't smell a tea like this, if you brew up a tea like this and you can't smell this, I'd probably go to the doctors, because you probably got COVID, you know? So just saying, it's probably a good tea to have. Planters Mistress, what does this taste like? It's a lighter looking cup, and if we were to taste it, much more citrusy. The first note that you actually get is actually of the lemon, and then you get the taste of the orange, and then finally you get the taste of the bergamot, but far more citrusy. This reminds me very much of spring. Now, today the clocks have gone forward in Britain, and you know, we're going into spring. This taste, this is it just gives me a big spring taste to it, you know? Very citrusy, very lemony. You get that final hint of bergamot, you know? So if you like Earl Grey type teas, try out Planters Mistress. It's not going to come in this tin. It will come in a pouch in our pouches that you get. It's only in loose leaf format at the moment. A great tea to be sipping as we go into springtime, and also a nice tea to sort of build on if you like Earl Grey. If you don't like Earl Grey, give the Mistress a go anyway, because there's 2 or 3 more notes that you'll find inside this tea. It's a lot lighter as well, as you can see, compared to the traditional Planters Earl Grey. So something in there for you guys to try. And also, like I said, if you can't smell this tea, if you don't get that lemony note, if you don't get the orange note, if you don't get the bergamot note, you've probably got coronavirus. Get yourself checked out. That's it from me. I'm going to drop some more videos in over the course of the week. Question of the day: with the barbers shut, should I shave my head? Leave your comments in the section below, and I'll be doing whatever people think I should do. Should I grow it out and look like a Wolverine, or should I shave my head? Drop your comments in the comment section, and I'll speak to you later on. Happy sipping.